Hello everyone, welcome to another episode on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a quick video on expectations. Now I know just about a month ago I did one on expectations, hope, and the holidays. But today I just wanted to do one on expectations and your relationship. I hear this a lot in my therapy sessions and even when I'm talking to friends about things that are going on in their relationship or what they expect either of themselves or their partner. And I just want to say a couple of things. So what are expectations? Usually expectations are something that we think is going to happen in the future or something that we think should or shouldn't happen in our relationships. And it's oftentimes we have an expectation or things that we think should happen and we don't communicate that to our partner. And when that happens, that's when it's an unhealthy or unspoken expectation that can often lead to disappointment, resentment, and eventually contempt in your relationship. And that's why we're talking about it today, because when we have these unspoken and unhealthy expectations, they often do lead to a disconnect, resentment, or contempt, and it makes your relationship go farther and farther apart. So we want to learn different ways to communicate what we hope for in our relationship as opposed to keeping these expectations that really pull us away from our partner. So, what are some different types of expectations? Are there ever expectations that are okay to have in a relationship? And then what can we do? So first of all, unhealthy expectations are things like, I expect my partner to read my mind. I expect that we're never going to have conflict, and if we have conflict, that means there's something wrong. I expect my partner to always make me feel better or happy, or I expect him or her to do things for me that I'm not going to tell them. I just think that they're going to do. And there's lots of different types of unhealthy expectations, but those are just a few that I hear a lot about. My partner, the other one I hear is my partner should just know. And again, those are things that they're not spoken. And remember guys, we can't read each other's mind. And so sometimes it's really important to learn how to communicate our, wants, needs, desires, even in the midst of conflict. So let's talk about what to do and how to communicate better. So first of all, when there's expectations, or if we notice that there's some distance, it's instead of having expectations, you can have, how do we communicate in a way where my partner can hear my wants and needs, and so we're kind of on the same page, even in the midst of conflict. So one of the things that I tell couples a lot about is we're in this together, and we have to remember we're in this together. Dr. John Gottman, who talks a lot about relationships, I talk about him in a lot of my YouTube videos. He has the Sound Relationship House and different components that make a relationship work. And, within that Sound Relationship House is this positive perspective. And part of the positive perspective is giving each other the benefit of the doubt. And, continuing to remember that we're in this together. So here's a couple of quick tips on how to let go of expectations and really connect in your relationship. So the first tip to letting go of expectations is to focus on the present moment and be here, be now. Again, a lot of times expectations are these future things that we think or that we hope for that are not being clearly communicated in the relationship. And when we step into the future, a lot of times what we do is we get into this fantasy thinking. And that can be really dangerous in our relationship. So be present. Focus on what's happening right in front of you, not all these future things with the expectation that these things should happen, and also you're not communicating what you think should happen to with your partner. So be present, be focused on the here and now instead of future thinking and, oh yeah, my partner should just know what's going on. The second thing is be respectful. Be respectful, self-respect, and also be respectful to your partner. And when we're able to do that, we're able to connect. Remember, respect is huge in a relationship. And unhealthy, unmet expectations lead to resentment, lead to contempt. And when contempt is in our relationship, it is we have lost respect for the other. And contempt, according to Dr. Gottman, is the #1 predictor of divorce or separation. So if you're noticing you're in this contemptual place, then it is to look at, what do I respect about my partner? How can I connect to my partner? How do I stop making assumptions? And also, instead of making assumptions, describe what I need or how I feel. So that's, what to do is, when I have respect, I'm also communicating clearly what my wants or needs are. Okay, now just because we're communicating our wants and needs doesn't necessarily mean everything's going to happen, but it does mean I'm making it clear the way I see things, what I want, what I'm going to do, and how I feel. And you also, it is a way that you're open with your partner instead of closed and just making these assumptions or planning things in your mind that aren't actually happening. And then the last thing is self-care. How do you take care of yourself to manage stress? And also, self-care is important because a lot of times when we're already in that unhealthy expectation mode with the resentment and the contempt, we expect our partner to make us happy or take care of us. And that leads to unhealthy codependency as well as these disconnect in our relationship. So be present, be respectful, state clearly your own wants and needs and how you feel, and also take care of yourself. And those are 4 ways to let go of unhealthy expectations and be present and be clear and be respectful in your current relationship. And lastly, if you can do those things, then you're connecting to your partner. And even in the midst of conflict or disagreement, when you can remember we're in this together, giving each other the benefit of the doubt, in some ways, that's a connection instead of this disconnect, and now we're in the midst of a huge fight and we're on total opposite ends of the islands trying to figure out what to do. So, that's what I want you guys to remember is there's going to be conflict, there's going to be rough roads, and when we can be respectful, when we can be open and honest, when we can remember, hey, we're in this together, even if we're seeing this differently right now, how can we work through this together? It creates connection, and it helps continue with that solid foundation in your relationship. Then the last thing I want to say, as we talk about Dr. Gottman, a couple of years ago, he wrote an article about how it's okay to have some expectations in your relationship. And, so as I'm talking about letting go of unhealthy expectations, which is super important, I do want to highlight, the thing that he did say is it's okay to expect respect, love, kindness, affection in your relationship. And to that, what I'll say is when you show up and you're taking care of yourself and you love yourself and you are showing up in a healthier way in your relationship, and you can not only give respect, but you're asking for respect. You can not only give kindness, but you're asking for kindness and love and all of those, and connection. So, to his point is it's okay to expect kindness and respect in a relationship. And, he even talks about in the article, it's okay to expect that there are going to be times when you have conflict. And to me, this is what's realistic and what you want in a relationship. What makes up a healthy relationship. And I think when you're communicating that to your partner, this is what a healthy relationship looks like to me. Those are those, using Gottman's words, healthy expectations to have in a relationship. And you're making it clear, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier. With unhealthy expectations, you're not clear and you're holding things inside, thinking that your partner should just know. Healthy expectations is you're communicating clearly what's important to you, your beliefs, your values, and what makes up a healthy relationship. So keep that in mind as you're in your relationship and you're navigating letting go of unhealthy expectations, because you don't want that to lead to resentment or contempt, and creating healthy ways to treat one another in your relationship. All right, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for weekly updates all about relationships and mental health. Have a great day.